Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving headfirst into the absolute latest longevity science. If you've ever wondered what's really going on under the hood as we age and how to actually scientifically pump the brakes on it, you're in exactly the right spot. Get ready, because we are about to unlock the biological secret to staying young.
So here's a question for you. Why is it that some folks cruise right past their 100th birthday, remaining completely vibrant and active, while others just seem to age so much faster? Think about it for a second. Because the answer isn't some ridiculously expensive magical anti-aging cream. No way. It's actually a fundamental biological process happening inside your body right now. And the craziest part? It's a process we absolutely have the power to control.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our roadmap for today's masterclass. We'll start with the true mastermind of aging, followed by the terrifying aging loop. Then, we'll cover 3 habits to cancel inflammation, NG behaviors that worsen inflammation, and finally, the strongest anti-inflammatory foods.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, the true mastermind of aging.
Back in 2016, researchers at Keio University Medical School looked at a group of supercentenarians. We're talking people between 85 and 110 years old who are living incredibly long, healthy lives. They wanted to know the secret. And honestly, the results were mind-blowing. Compared to the normal elderly population, these supercentenarians had an incredibly low level of internal bodily inflammation. It was practically non-existent. The researchers realized that just by looking at a person's internal inflammation levels, they could literally predict their speed of aging. So, chronic inflammation, it's not just a side effect. It is the actual mastermind driving the entire aging process.
Which brings us to Section 2, the terrifying aging loop.
And this brilliantly illustrates the biological chain reaction happening deep inside our cells. When chronic inflammation flares up, it churns out these things called reactive oxygen species, or ROS. Think of these unstable molecules like tiny wrecking balls. They essentially attack your cells and lead directly to DNA damage. That damage then chops away at your telomeres. Those are the little protective caps at the end of chromosomes. Once those telomeres get too short, boom, cellular aging hits the gas pedal, which ironically triggers even more chronic inflammation.
Which traps us right inside this inescapable negative loop. Cellular aging causes inflammation, and then that inflammation causes more cellular aging. It's just feeding on itself. Once you get stuck in this terrifying cycle, your body's tissue regeneration basically grinds to a total halt. Your biological clock isn't just ticking anymore, it's sprinting. So if we want to stay youthful and healthy, our absolute #1 priority has to be breaking this exact cycle.
So how do we do that? Let's get into Section 3, 3 habits to cancel inflammation.
Habit number 1 is completely eliminating glycation stress. Look, when you eat excess sugar, it binds with proteins inside your body under heat. It literally creates a chemical reaction that is cooking your body from the inside out. I know, it sounds intense, right? These compounds are called AGEs, advanced glycation end products, and they are absolute toxic troublemakers. They accelerate aging, wreck your bone density, and just pour gasoline on systemic inflammation.
And to make matters worse, refined carbs and added sugars don't just sit around doing nothing. They create these AGEs that then bind directly to receptors right inside your blood vessels. This sets off a massive inflammatory alarm, causing your arteries to harden, a condition known as atherosclerosis. So we aren't just talking about getting a few wrinkles here, we're talking about a seriously elevated risk of blood clots, strokes, and heart attacks. It's a real wake-up call that you have to take the reins on your health and ruthlessly cut back on those refined sugars.
Moving right along to habit number 2, releasing stress. I want you to imagine getting chewed out by an incredibly angry boss. Pretty stressful, right? Now, imagine being chased by a hungry, attacking tiger. To your conscious mind, obviously those are 2 wildly different situations, but to your brain and your immune system, they're exactly the same thing. No difference at all. Your brain literally cannot tell the difference between physical danger and mental stress. Both trigger the exact same biological fight-or-flight immune response.
Because it can't tell the difference. Chronic mental stress traps you in a non-stop fight-or-flight state. It's exhausting. It creates this systemic low-grade inflammation and totally suppresses your immune system, leaving you wide open to everything from diabetes to depression. Honestly, you need to ruthlessly cut toxic people out of your life. If someone or something is a constant stressor, you've got to step away. And, just as importantly, schedule your downtime. Life is a marathon, guys. It's not a sprint. Don't push yourself until you collapse. Rest isn't a luxury. It is a hard biological requirement for stopping inflammation.
And habit number 3 is all about this magic number right here, 7 to 9.
You absolutely need 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night, and the balance here is super delicate. Research actually shows that sleeping too much can spike your CRP, which is a major inflammatory marker. But on the flip side, losing even one single night of good sleep sets off a massive inflammatory alarm in your brain called NF-κB. You might wake up thinking, I can survive on 5 hours today, but biochemically, your body is panicking and inflaming. You've got to hit that 7 to 9 hour sweet spot.
All right, moving into Section 4, NG behaviors that worsen inflammation.
So here's the crucial takeaway. We've got 7 major bad habits: smoking, eating an unhealthy diet, drinking too much alcohol, lack of exercise, carrying around way too much stress, obesity, and sleep deprivation. Every single one of these behaviors drastically speeds up your biological clock. If you truly want to put out the fire of aging, I am directly challenging you today. Identify your weak spots on this list and start dropping those habits immediately.
Finally, let's get into the good stuff with Section 5, the strongest anti-inflammatory foods.
So, we know that accumulating visceral fat directly causes inflammation, but there is a phenomenal, highly effective solution: dietary fiber. It's like a superpower. When you eat fiber-rich foods, you are literally feeding the good bacteria in your gut. And when those little guys are happy and well-fed, they pump out powerful anti-inflammatory compounds throughout your entire body. This helps you lose weight and radically lowers those dangerous inflammation markers.
You might actually want to take a mental screenshot of this list for your next grocery run. These are the absolute heavy hitters of dietary fiber. For veggies, we're talking parsley, burdock, okra, broccoli, spinach, carrots, and morohea. For fruits, grab some avocado, guava, berries, kiwi, apples, and oranges. Oh, and don't forget the extras like mushrooms and seaweed. I highly, highly encourage you to load your plates up with these fiber-packed champions every single day.
And beyond just fiber, here is your gold star list of scientifically backed anti-inflammatory superfoods. We've got cherries, strawberries, and tomatoes, dark leafy greens like kale and komansu, nuts and seeds, especially walnuts, whole grains, and crucially, fatty fish like salmon, sardines, and tuna, paired with healthy fats like olive oil. These are so incredibly easy to just slip into your daily routine, and they actively go to work cooling down your body's inflammation levels right down to the cellular level.
So there we have it. We've covered the real mastermind of aging, that terrifying negative loop. The habits you need to build, the behaviors you have to drop, and the exact superfoods you should be eating. You are now holding the scientifically backed keys to longevity. So, I want to leave you with this one provocative question. What will you choose to eat tonight to stop your aging clock? The power to control your inflammation and, frankly, your youth is entirely in your hands. And it starts with your very next meal. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I can't wait to see you for our next deep dive.